Okay, are you ready for a really fascinating deep dive today?
Oh, I'm ready.
We're going to be looking at the Spiritual Seek's mini personality test,
Okay.
which is designed to assess maturity, especially in young people.
Right.
I'm really curious to see what you think about these kinds of tests.
Oh, yeah.
Are they just for fun, or can they reveal something deeper?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's aimed at a younger audience, I think we can all
Oh, for sure.
find something to reflect on.
Yeah, definitely.
So first statement in this mini maturity test is,
Okay.
I want to succeed and leave a mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's that drive to make a name for themselves.
Right.
But is it just about youthful energy?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to it?
Well, what's fascinating is how the spiritual seek connects this desire
Uh-huh.
to a potentially materialistic view of life.
Oh, okay.
They suggest that this yearning to leave a mark might stem from a focus on outward achievements and
Oh.
external validation.
So it makes you think.
It really does.
What does success truly mean?
Yeah. Is it about money, fame, power, or something else?
Yeah, that's a really thought-provoking question.
For sure.
And speaking of questioning things,
Okay.
the next statement is, I fully understood how the world works. I remember feeling that way as a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had it all figured out. Reality has a way of humbling us,
It really does.
doesn't it?
The spiritual seek points out that the world is
Yeah.
governed by a certain degree of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We humans are constantly learning and adapting,
Right.
revising our understanding of how things work.
Yeah.
Wise people, they argue, embrace this uncertainty.
So it's about being open to new perspectives
It is.
and accepting that our understanding is always evolving,
Absolutely.
which brings us to the next statement.
Okay.
And this one almost feels like a trick question.
All right.
I already know everything I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're daring you to disagree.
Exactly. And it highlights the danger of arrogance and closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
The spiritual seek emphasizes that true wisdom lies in continuous learning
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to be proven wrong.
Okay.
The moment you think you know it all,
Uh-huh.
you shut yourself off from growth.
So it's about cultivating that humility,
It is.
recognizing that there's always more to learn,
Yeah,
regardless of our age or experience.
absolutely.
Now, I'm curious, what's one area where you are actively trying to
Oh, that's a great question.
learn and grow right now?
Lately, I've been diving deeper into the philosophy of Stoicism.
Oh, wow.
I'm fascinated by its emphasis on resilience, self-control,
Interesting.
finding peace amidst the chaos.
What about you?
What's piquing your curiosity these days?
Well, I've always been fascinated by history,
Uh-huh.
but recently I've been exploring the history of ancient Egypt.
Oh, wow.
The pyramids,
Yeah.
hieroglyphs, the whole civilization
Incredible.
blows my mind. There's so much we still don't know,
Oh, right.
which makes it all the more intriguing.
It's captivating. Exploring the mysteries of the past reminds us that we're part of a much larger story that unfolds across generations.
Okay, so the next statement
Okay.
in the Spiritual Seeks test is, reading and studying is boring and useless.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all relate to that feeling at times,
Oh, absolutely.
especially during those forced study sessions.
Well, back in school.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, when am I ever going to use this in real life?
Uh-huh. Right.
But the Spiritual Seek reframes this perspective in a really interesting way.
Okay.
They suggest that it's not about the act of
Mm-hmm.
reading and
Yeah.
studying,
Yeah.
but rather about finding those subjects
Right.
and topics that genuinely spark your curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
ignite your desire to learn.
You've hit the nail on the head.
So it's about that shift
Yes.
from passive learning
Mm-hmm.
to active exploration,
It is.
from feeling forced to feeling inspired.
Exactly.
Think back to your own experiences.
Eh.
What were those subjects or topics that you couldn't get enough of?
Oh. Let me think.
The ones that made you lose track of time because you were so engrossed in learning.
For me, it was anything related to music.
Really?
I was completely absorbed.
Wow.
Allowed me to express myself
Yeah.
in ways that words couldn't.
It sounds like you tapped into that intrinsic motivation,
I think so.
that pure joy of learning.
Yeah.
And that's precisely what the Spiritual Seek encourages us to cultivate.
Right.
They remind us that true learning goes beyond textbooks and classrooms.
For sure.
It's about embracing curiosity,
Yes.
pursuing our passions,
Mm-hmm.
and finding that spark of joy in the process of discovery.
Absolutely. It's amazing how the spiritual seek can pack so much wisdom into these simple statements.
I know, right? And this next statement on their maturity test
Okay.
definitely hits a nerve. It is the result that matters, not how you achieve it. This one feels a bit ethically ambiguous.
It
What
does.
do you think?
It raises some red flags. This statement disregards ethical considerations.
Right.
It suggests a focus on the ends justifying the means.
Exactly.
Right.
It makes me think about stories of people who achieve great success but compromise their values.
Yeah.
They might achieve their desired outcome,
Right.
but at what cost?
That's the point. The spiritual seek is highlighting.
Yeah.
True maturity involves considering the impact of our actions on others.
It's not just about personal gain.
It's not.
It's about our interconnectedness.
Yeah.
Striving for well-being that encompasses the well-being of those around us.
I couldn't agree more.
It's about recognizing that our actions have ripple effects,
They do.
and even small choices can have a significant impact. So how can we be more mindful
That's a good question.
of the how behind our actions?
The spiritual seek suggests cultivating a sense of empathy and compassion.
Okay.
It's about stepping outside of our own self-interest, considering the perspectives and needs of those around us.
So asking yourself, how might my actions affect others?
Exactly.
Am I willing to compromise my integrity to achieve this?
Yeah.
What kind of impact
Oh, yeah.
do I want to have on the world?
Those are powerful questions.
They are?
And speaking of the bigger picture,
Okay.
the final statement brings us back to the carefree spirit of youth.
Okay.
I'm young and want to have fun.
Right.
I will think about the future later.
I think we can all relate to that sentiment.
Oh, of course. Youth is a time for exploration, experimentation,
Right.
and, yes, having fun.
Yes.
But as the spiritual seek points out,
Mm-hmm.
there's a danger in delaying self-reflection.
It's like that classic procrastination trap.
It is
Putting things off.
thinking we have all the time in the world.
But time has a way of slipping through our fingers.
It does.
Before we know it, that I'll deal with it later. Attitude
Right.
can turn into overwhelm and regret.
So it's not about sucking all the fun out of youth and
Right.
becoming a mini adult.
Right.
It's about finding that balance.
Exactly. Between enjoying the present moment
Yes.
and setting ourselves up for a fulfilling future.
You've hit the nail on the head.
It's like weaving a tapestry with threads of joy, purpose, and responsibility.
That's beautiful.
But how do we actually go about finding that balance?
One key suggestion is to cultivate a practice of regular self-reflection.
Like what, for example?
Well, for starters, what truly brings you joy?
Okay.
What are your passions, your interests, the things that light you up?
Okay.
And then looking ahead, what kind of impact do you want to make on the world?
Those are some deep questions.
They are.
I imagine they could be quite daunting,
They can.
especially for younger people,
Yeah.
still figuring things out.
But they're also empowering questions.
Right, because when you start asking yourself, you begin to take ownership of your life.
Exactly.
You see yourself as the author of your own story,
You do.
rather than a passive bystander.
Precisely. That shift in perspective
Okay.
is a crucial element of maturity.
It's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your own destiny.
You do.
Okay, so we've talked about self-reflection.
Right.
They're planning for the future.
Yes.
But how do we bridge the gap between contemplation and action?
The spiritual seek suggests setting small, achievable goals.
So instead of getting paralyzed by the enormity of the future, we focus on those small wins.
Exactly. Each step you take, each goal you achieve reinforces that sense of self-efficacy.
Okay.
Motivates you to keep going.
It's like building a muscle.
It is.
The more we practice aligning our actions with our intentions,
Yeah.
the stronger it becomes.
That's a great analogy.
And as you progress, it's crucial to stay flexible.
Absolutely. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns.
So it's not about rigidly adhering to a plan.
It's not.
It's about embracing the journey,
Exactly.
being open to new possibilities.
It is, in fact, embracing change is another hallmark of maturity.
It's about being resilient,
Yeah,
resourceful, willing to learn from our experiences.
it is.
And it's important to remember, we don't have to do this alone.
We don't. We all need support, guidance, encouragement.
Welcome back to the show.
As we wrap up our deep dive into the Spiritual Seek's mini maturity test,
Yeah.
I'm struck by how much these simple statements have sparked such rich conversation and introspection.
I think it's a testament to their ability to tap into
It is.
those fundamental human questions that we grapple with throughout our lives.
And in this final segment, I'd love to explore some practical ways
Okay.
we can integrate these insights into our daily lives and cultivate that deeper sense of maturity.
That sounds great.
Where should we begin?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the Spiritual Seek emphasizes mindfulness
Good.
as a foundation for personal growth.
Okay.
Cultivating that present moment awareness,
Right.
paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, sensations without judgment.
So it's about slowing down, tuning in,
It is.
really experiencing the world with all of our senses.
Precisely.
And when we practice mindfulness, we start to notice the subtle ways we're connected.
To everything and everyone.
We begin to see the interconnectedness of life in a whole new way.
You're shifting from a narrow, egocentric perspective
Yeah.
to a wider, more expansive awareness.
And that shift can be incredibly transformative.
It can.
Allows us to appreciate the beauty and complexity of life.
With the sense of wonder and gratitude.
So mindfulness is one key practice.
It is.
What are some other ways
Let's see.
we can cultivate this expanded awareness?
Well, the Spiritual Seek also highlights the importance of gratitude.
Okay.
Taking the time each day to appreciate the good things in our lives.
Because it shifts our focus from what we're lacking
It does.
to what we already have.
It's about recognizing the abundance rather than dwelling on scarcity.
And when we cultivate an attitude of gratitude,
Yeah,
we naturally feel more connected to something larger than ourselves.
I do.
A sense of appreciation for the gifts.
Right.
And that appreciation extends outwards.
It does to our relationships, communities, the world.
Okay, so mindfulness and gratitude are two powerful tools for expanding our awareness.
Right.
Any other suggestions?
They also encourage us to cultivate compassion,
Okay.
both for ourselves and for others.
Especially in today's world,
Yeah,
where it's easy to get caught up in judgment.
it's true. We're all imperfect beings
Right.
navigating this complex journey of life.
And when we extend compassion,
Yeah.
we acknowledge that shared human experience.
We're all in this together, doing the best we can,
Right.
learning, growing, making mistakes.
It's like we're all threads
Yeah.
in a vast and intricate tapestry,
I love that analogy.
woven together by our shared experiences.
As we cultivate these practices, we begin to see those threads of connection.
In the smile of a stranger, the warmth of the sun,
The gentle breeze.
we realize that we're not isolated,
We're not.
but rather integral parts of this interconnected web of life.
Exactly.
And that realization can be empowering.
It can,
It reminds us that our actions
no matter how small.
have ripple effects.
That's why the Spiritual Seek emphasizes
Okay.
aligning our actions with our values
Making choices.
that contribute to well-being.
So it's not just about personal growth.
It's
It's about recognizing our well-being is intertwined.
with the well-being of others and the planet.
That's the essence of true maturity.
Is
Moving beyond a self-centered perspective.
embracing a wider sense of responsibility.
As we wrap up, what key takeaway?
The journey of maturity is not about achieving some fixed state.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
Of growth.
Evolution and connection.
Embracing our imperfections.
Learning from mistakes.
Continually striving to be our best selves.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, we'll conclude our deep dive.
Into the Spiritual Seek's mini maturity test.
We hope this has inspired you to reflect on your own journey.
And consider the many ways
You can cultivate greater maturity.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, keep those minds open
Those hearts curious.
and those connections strong.